Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For those of you that don't know or might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news or news in general in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Bitcoin is over $71,000. What in the hell is going on here? Do you guys think this is anticipation of the Ethereum ETF? That's what I'm thinking. But let's see who's in the chat and then we'll get into this. Mr. Vinny, what's up, man? Good to see you. We got Andrew Masada in the house. Green Hash, my man. Patrick Murphy. Perfect. Dan R, good to see you, buddy. We have Cape Cod Crypto. Let's see. Trade Like Snipe. What's up, man? Mining to fill my bags. I absolutely love that name. All Set, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Let me see. Anybody else? Dumpster Fire, what's up, man? Plox, good to see you, buddy. Green Hash, Chris Hanley. Everybody else I may have missed, I apologize. Let's do it. All right, we got Bitcoin 71,117 bucks. Looks amazing. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum is killing it. 37.69. This is insane. Solana $180. We have XRP at 54 cents. Let's see. What the hell am I doing? What was just happening? Anyways, Caspa 13 cents. 13.3. Look at that. Hell yeah. ETC 32 bucks. ETC and ETH rose the same amount yesterday. They were both up like 17%. I think it was in the afternoon when I checked. But the catalyst, just Ethereum itself, is going to make the price VTC. Boom. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Financial Failure. I'm digging the tank top. It's gonna be like 80 something today here, and down here is pretty warm because I get the X16Q running next to me. So I'm like, I ain't sweating today. I ain't playing that game. Let's see. AC Mining, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Veteran Miner, what is up? All right. Everything is green, guys. Everything is looking amazing. Dogecoin 16.5 cents. Shiba is up 6.45%. Pepe, what is Pepe up? Almost 20%. Jeez. You know what, Yusuf, I guess you were right. Shouldn't have sold my Pepe. It's all right. All right, let's see what. Oh god, oh my god, I was like, what are all these coins? We gotta go back to the top 100. That was from yesterday. All right, what is the biggest earner of the day? Is it Lido? I think so. LGO Lido right here, $2.32, up 34.9%. Damn, this is nice. It's nice to see things starting to pick back up, because man, that whole sell in May and go away sentiment really was biting people in the ass. Nobody liked it. It was terrible. There's nothing to talk about. It was awful. ARB up 23.9% to $1.21. We got Ethereum again up 22.1% to 3,773 bucks. Bonk is up 30%, 30.1 to be exact. Pepe is up 23.9. Let's see, we have a bit tensor up here, up 436 bucks, up 18.4%. We got Uniswap up 21.6 to $9.33. We have Athena up 18.9% to 87 cents. Crazy. This is crazy. This is amazing. It's nice. Caspa's up 8.5% to 13.4 as of right now over here on Crypto Bubbles. Hell yeah, this is sick. This is what we needed. Exactly what we needed. Let's see. If you guys have any questions in the chat, please feel free to ask away. All right, flashbang. See what we're looking like over here. Fear and Greed Index. I gotta refresh. We're in extreme greed. Is this bad or is this good? This could be bad. This could be bad. When it gets over 75, this is when I start watching it. So I am anticipating a drop after Thursday. Thursday is the 23rd, right? It is 21st. Yeah, so Thursday is 23rd. That's when the denial, in my opinion, is probably going to come for the Ethereum ETF, right? The long-awaited hopes to get it, but probably not going to happen situation. So I think we're going to see a pullback. That's my opinion. So what are you guys going to do? You just going to hold through it, or are you guys going to pull back? Let me know. Pull some out, rather. All right, let's get over here. Check out CoinGecko trending coins. Beldex, I don't know what this is, up 1.9%. We have Apu. This Apu coin is up 29.4%, and then Normie, whatever this is, up 55.9%. Meme coins look like they're popping off again. All right, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, Lido Staked Ether, USDC, XRP, Dogecoin, and Toncoin. Look at that. Perfect. Toncoin's getting pushed out of the top 10. I'm not a fan of Toncoin, that's my opinion, but Toncoin is in 10th place at a $22.5 billion market cap. Dogecoin blasted above it by over $1 billion. Damn, that's crazy. That's a crazy change of events, actually, because Toncoin was well ahead of it yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, interesting. Cardano up to 50 cents, guys. This thing was down to like 44 cents. Maybe it was lower. I think it was to 43, maybe 42. But like I said, man, I think Cardano's an easy 6x, just my opinion. But again, 2018 bull run or 2017 bull run into 2018, and then 2021, right? They both, it's seen a peak in both bull runs. I think we're going to see another peak, or it might not get up there, but hey, listen, I think it's going to be close to a 6x. The all-time high was $3, so you guys do what you want. That's each his own, you know. I don't know, I invested a little bit into it, and we'll see what happens with it. Litecoin is another one I think is going to do very well. $88 as of right now. Again, this thing's been up to like 400 or something bucks, so I think that's got a good run up ahead of it. And then Ethereum Classic, I really do think that the Ethereum ETF catalyst alone is going to push this coin up. I truly believe that. Again, not trying to call people dumb, but y'all dumb. dumb money coming into the space, rather, right? It's the new people that are coming in here and they don't understand the difference. I was dumb when I started. Hey, it's still questionable at this point, but hey, I did buy ETC right when I started because I didn't understand why Ethereum was so much more expensive than Ethereum Classic, and I know for a fact that's going to happen to people when they get here, right? Little Timmy, for example. But again, 2021 bull run, we saw 161 bucks or so as the all-time high, right? I know the needle should actually be way up here, but we might not get that high, but I still think we have at least a 3 or 4x in it. At least that's just my opinion. Close to 100 bucks I'm sure we're gonna see over here, but you guys teach his own, do what you will. I'm gonna invest how I want to invest. You guys invest how you want. It's your money. Nobody can tell you what to do with it. All right, let's go down. Render 11 bucks. Wow, look at that. Oh yeah, perfect. That's sick, man. You know what sucks? I transferred all my USDT from my Tangent wallet into Litecoin. Where is Litecoin? I was just at it right here. 88 bucks, right? And I bought, man, it was like I had to spend, you know, a bunch of money on that solar setup I just got. So I had like a shit ton of Litecoin. And I was like, I wish I could just hold this because I know it's going to go up. And what do you know? It was like 80 bucks when I had to sell out of it to go buy that solar setup. And it's like, yeah, $8 more now times the multiple I had was, it would have been so much, it would have done so much better. It's just, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm pumped about the new solar setup. I can't wait to see it. All right, let me just refresh this quick. Moving on to the mining segment of things. You guys know I like to timestamp this stuff. Want to see what the most profitable miners are on the market currently. We have the Antminer KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit making $95 a day, $95.80 to be exact. Man, that was weird. The coffee cup wouldn't sit flat. I thought it was gonna tip over. All right, we got the 20 terahash unit KS5 over here, $91.24. KS5L 12 terahash unit making $50.90. Hell yeah, this is sick. I'm glad things are going back up for Caspa. I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good next month. June is supposed to be KRC 20 tokens. I think they're getting smart contracts soon. Rust protocol has been implemented, if I'm not mistaken. Things are going positively for Caspa, so we're gonna have to see what happens there. BMKS Max 11 terahash unit, $43 a day, $43.52. We got the Windminer K9 10.3 terahash unit making $42.78. The AL box dropped down to 6th place, 360 gigahash unit, 180 watts to $40.25. It's actually been holding around this price for a little bit. Let me just go and check out the price of lithium because I haven't looked yet. How's the lithium doing? Are we getting a nice pump here? Oh no. No, we are not. We're just going down. All right, $1.87. But that's still a good thing. It's still holding here. It's holding, right? Not too bad. 40 bucks a day, still pretty good, but that's the only thing that's like not pumping in the market. We got the KS3 from Ice River 8 terahash unit making $31.70 a day. The KS3M 6 terahash unit making $21.37. We have the L7 9050. You guys know I got this thing down at Terra Hosting. Prices are going up, as you can see. $12.63 is my profit. So shout out to Terra Hosting. If you guys want to pay like 9.5, 10 cents per kilowatt hour, go check them out because I couldn't run this thing in my house. I could absolutely not run it. But you know what? My solar setup now, if I still had this thing, I would have totally tested it out because I can actually run 240 volts off this new solar inverter that I'm getting. The 6000 XP. I'm super excited for it. It's gonna be sick. I can actually pump out 6,000 watts So I could have ran this unit off solar. You imagine that? That would have been dope. That would have been so sick. But it's all right. I have plenty of other miners I can run off them. All right, we have the Jazz Miner X16Q. I got this thing running right next to me, actually. It's supposed to be making $8 a day as of right now. This is mining ETHW and ZIL. This is the 1950 mega hashes, right? Almost 2 giga hashes. It's 620 watts, a little less if you actually run it off 240, but I'm still making like $5 a day, even at 30 cents per kilowatt hour on this unit. So it's worth having. I love this unit, to be honest. I do. I actually made a video about it too the other day. Once the price of ETC appreciates a bit more, I think this unit's going to be on fire and people are going to be buying them up. To be honest, I think that's going to be one of the top miners for home miners. Let's see. Been reading into a cash network the past couple of days. Says Chris Hanley already been listed on Coinbase. Nice. And I think it's mineable due to the network computing and storage. May go balls deep. Nice. Chris Hanley, good for you, man. No hoodie. Need my card. I need my card. Good to see you, buddy. No hoodie today. You're correct. All right, let's see. We have, where is the KS? KS1's there. Where's the KS2? KS2 2 terahash unit, $6.96 a day. That's not that great, but is what it is. I saw KS1 making $3.48 a day. That's still pretty shitty. That's still pretty crappy. That's all right. The X4Q, I actually have this unit, 1 gigahash, 370 watts. Is that the one I got? Yeah, the X4Q. Why am I like weird? Maybe I'm just not used to seeing ETC here on the charts. $2.20 a day. I wonder what I'd be making at 30 cents kilowatt hour on that. I'll check in a little bit. The ice server Caspa KS0 Pro. You guys know I got these things running on solar as of right now. 74 cents a day. It's supposed to be a sunny day out today, so I should have all 10 of them on, which is cool. I actually left them plugged in, so we should be good there. Let's see where my S19K is. Oh, thank God. Look at that. Hallelujah. Perfect. We're back in the green. We're back in the green in the S19K. It is literally right at the brink of profits. Make it 8 cents a day. That's way better than negative. Gee, dude, 8 cents a day, and that's crazy. That is. Look, listen, Bitcoin is $71,000. Why am I only making 8 cents on an S19K? What the hell is happening? Oh, it's terrible. It's all right. You know what? Whatever. At least it's in the green. It's not in the red anymore. I mean, my payback time will only be 531 months. Bruh. It's better than it's saying never. Like right here. Oh my God. All right, moving on to GPUs. Let's see what we got. GPUs, best profitable coin as of right now for the 4090 looks to be Ironfish and Pyron. Ironfish and some sort of fork is typically the overall consensus here. We get the 7900 XTXC Ironfish and Graham. We have Cortex here on the 4080 as well. Let's see, 6800 XT is Chlor. Jessica Chlor there, and Ironfish and Graham. We got BTG on the 7900 XT and Xano. Let's see, Eternity on the 3070, Conflux and Pyron, interesting, on the 3070 as well. Then we got Chlor, Ironfish and Graham on the 6900 XT, 3080s Conflux and Radiant, Ergo and Pyron. That's interesting. Please don't mind on your laptop. So the 3070 Ti laptop is best on Xano. Yeah, you guys got a decent amount of coins to pick from. We got the 6950. Look at that. That's actually got Flux on there. 46. Let me see. What's Flux looking like? Just because I don't know. Oh damn, Flux having a little bit of pump. 91 cents. Nice. Nice. That's good for everybody that's holding Flux. Hell yeah. What's up, DJ? Yeah, Cass was doing good today. Cass was doing really good. Everything's doing good. Look at this. Look at this. It's insane. Insane. I think it's gonna do even better next month. Caspa will hopefully do better next month. Let's check out CPUs quick. Is it still Zeph? Yeah, Zeph came back, right? Let's see, is Zeph still back? Real quick, that's pretty much it for GPUs though. Zeph is still at $4.95. Crazy. It still blows my mind this thing went up to like 50 bucks. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Anyways, all right, let's move on to mining pool stats.stream. Any new coins? I don't think so. Was this here yesterday? I think it was. Yeah, I remember making fun of this mass boost. Someone asked him if he knew about this Rogu coin or whatever. Sounds like ragu, and it was like the sauce. Oh, it's so funny. Anyways, yeah, I don't know, guys, teach his own. Go check out these coins if you want, but these are all the new mineable coins. These are proof of work coins. Obviously, you can mine them with your computer or CPUs, GPUs, whatever. Yeah, have at it. Events calendar, let's move on to that. 7 hours from now, today, Pyron is going through a fifth inning. 17-14 for a block reward. So that's pretty soon. 9 days from now, Ethereum Classic's going through a fifth inning as well. 2.56 to 2.048, which is the block reward, obviously. Gold Cash going through one in 23 days, and then CAU is going through it in 33 days. And I still don't understand the hydro fork term. Somebody told me yesterday, I think it was Kyle in the chat, so shout out to you. I think he said it was just a fancy word for proof of stake, so this is going proof of stake, I guess. I don't know. Let me know if that's true. All right, let's move on to news. We're gonna go through this stuff and then we'll get into like the crypto news. OpenAI is still facing problem with departures. Let's see what they got to say over here on CNBC television. Guys, hit that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Welcome back to Power Lunch, everybody. We just learned more about Microsoft's ambitions when it comes to AI PCs. And of course, you can't talk Microsoft and AI without also discussing its relationship with OpenAI, which is going through some drama of its own right now. And Deidre Bosa has that story for us in today's Tech Check. Hey, Dee.
Tyler, all of the drama, none of the answers. So if it feels like deja vu, you are not wrong. This is really a continuation, though, of the drama that we saw last November when Sam Altman was briefly ousted just to return a few days later. Some of the people I've been talking to aren't surprised at all by Ilya Sutskever's departure. He was behind the ousting of Altman, and he lost a board seat amid the saga. But his exit last week was quickly followed by
That guy's hairline's hurting.
amid the saga, but
oh, sorry,
his exit last week was quickly followed by another OpenAI employee, Jan Leakey, that with Ilya oversaw the unit responsible for the long-term risks of developing Gen AI, a team called Super Alignment. He was not as quiet on the way out, posting over the past few years, safety culture and processes have taken a backseat to shiny products. Well, trillion-dollar companies like Microsoft, they really like shiny products, but amid the drama, even Microsoft has been diversifying its AI strategy somewhat, still all in on OpenAI, of course, after pouring in $13 billion. But in the recent months, it's also hired DeepMind co-founder Mustafa Suleyman and got a minority stake in another AI darling, Mistral. So signs of it, not sure what to attribute it to, but it could be some of that drama. I thought it was interesting, guys, when Steve just asked that Microsoft executive if he still had confidence in OpenAI, and the executive said, great confidence in Sam Altman by name and the team there. And he said that that was their whole focus, to build a great future for AI and the world, which is getting maybe a little bit harder to argue with all of these departures.
Real quick, Cedric, I wasn't making fun of him. It was just funny. But at that point, for one, just shave it. But two, the guy's a dick. He kicked out Sam Altman out of his own company. So he was behind all the bullshit. So that guy can eat shit, my opinion.
Yeah, how many companies are really vying in compared with what OpenAI does? How many companies kind of do what they do?
It's a good question. So OpenAI develops ChatGPT, which is really the foundational model, right? They build LLMs, which require huge amounts of capital and compute power. Its most direct rival is probably Anthropic, which was kind of born out of OpenAI. And also they take that task of building responsible AI very, very seriously. In fact, that's why it was created. There's a number of others, though. Mistral, which I mentioned, is developing an open source model. Google, of course, is developing its own LLM. Someone I was talking to this morning believes that actually these closed large language models are becoming commoditized already, especially when you see what, say, a Meta was able to do and how much it was able to build an open source LLM, that they need to figure out solutions. They're becoming commoditized. Maybe they'll start to be sold off, or you'll see more partnerships like the one with Microsoft and OpenAI.
I forget it was you who told me. I think it was you. Perplexity. That's pretty good.
People love that one. That's not in the same category.
Not in the same category.
They build on top of large language models, so you could call it an AI wrapper company, though. No, I don't think they want to be called that.
Whose AI do they use then? Which large language model?
They use everyone. They have their sort of proposition is that they harness the power of many different LLMs to give you the best, most comprehensive answer with follow-ups.
Deirdre, as always, thank you.
Interesting. And someone in the chat said something about what's it called? Scarlett Johansson suing OpenAI. Is that true? I think I saw that this morning. Something about them getting her voice, like it was like too close to her voice for comfort, I guess, or something, like was the headline of whatever I saw. I saw it briefly this morning. I didn't think it was worth going into, but is that legit? Is she actually suing them? That's weird, huh? Anyways, all right. Nvidia will beat expectations with upside coming in the next 2 years. Let's see what they got to say over here on Yahoo Finance.
Commodities have been on a tear, specifically metals. Gold prices hitting a record.
Oh, Dan R said it was used on SNL. Oh, damn. Oh, that's real. Yeah, see, that's messed up, though. Like, see, that's not cool. I wouldn't be cool with that either, to be honest.
Record high today, boosted by mounting geopolitical uncertainty, fueled by the death of Iran's president over the weekend. We're looking at how to navigate the big picture with the Yahoo Finance playbook, and we're joined by Phil Strebel, Blue Line Futures Chief Market Strategist, and Timna Tanners, Managing Director at Wolf Research. Thank you both for being here. Phil, I'm going to start with you. It's not just gold, silver, copper. We are really seeing some pretty amazing increases in many of these metals. Does a lot of it have to, I mean, is it sort of the dual thing here of geopolitics and then AI that's helping fuel this?
Yeah, if you break it down into copper, I mean, you know, when you trade commodities, it doesn't matter what it is. You really got to identify two characteristics when investing. It's a supply-demand imbalance and it's market momentum. You look at copper, for instance, you've got increased electrical power use because of the green energy revolution. You've also got rising demand from electric vehicles, and advancement of AI have also strained the outdated electrical grid. So the combination pushes demand for copper, silver, and other metallic metals higher for the first time in over a decade. And this comes at a time when increased regulation makes it harder for additional supplies of these metals to come to light and end up in the end user's hands. So it's just creating this global deficit right now. It's a perfect storm for commodities.
Dude, it's funny you just said that. In the Nismo Miner in the chat said copper, let's go. He said rip it out of houses again. Man, like, if you guys don't know, I'm a master plumber. I've had job sites ripped off before. People steal copper. It's so annoying. It's like, really, you couldn't find something else to do, but like, it's crazy. I don't know. That's why people went towards like PEX and stuff, you know, all the plastic piping, or CPVC, which is like a PVC style piping, where you got to glue it all together instead of like compression. But yeah, it sucks, man. You show up to the job in the morning and it's either your whole stack's gone, like somebody broke into the job site that was completely chained up, or they'll actually just go and like, this shit could be live. Like, I had this guy snapped off a pipe that was a water main coming into a basement. It was live. This mofo got soaked for sure when he broke that off, because this was just a geyser. Like, they have no shame. And it's like, you did all that for $5. Like, you literally probably could have found that on the street if you just walked around long enough. Like, I don't know. It's insane.
And Timna, you covered the miners. Can you give us an overview? And these are very different companies, depending on what's mined and scattered throughout the world, different geopolitical structures and things at play. What are factors that the miners are concerned with right now, and some of those that are translating into higher prices down the stream?
Amount of new copper mines starting up this year. There's we can rattle off a couple off the top of our heads. There's Quellaveco, QB2, there's Oyu Tolgoi, and Kamoa-Kakula. So there's quite a bit of copper coming on, and a lot of the new copper demand isn't going to hit the market till 2030, especially data centers, maybe a 1 to 3% global phenomenon over from 2020 to 2030. So there's nothing really very incrementally supporting this massive rally, aside from a small deficit in copper if you look at the data. However, you know, there's nothing to get in the way of a good, don't let the facts get in the way of a good narrative here. The reality is this is really a squeeze that's happening in the financial community more than in the physical market. There's a lot of shorts that were squeezed in copper. It's quite a bit of analysis on that. And definitely, you know, the phenomenon of Russian material not being able to be delivered to the US is causing a physical squeeze. In terms of the miners, certainly, they are enjoying these higher prices. It's hard to explain how sticky they'll really be from what we just described. There's the high profile potential acquisition of Anglo by BHP that looks like it's hitting a wall here, but we aren't hearing a massive amount of M&A Even though it is hard to build, it's also getting expensive to buy.
Well,
Real quick, it's funny you said that too, Patrick Murphy. He said luckily they didn't steal tools, but took all the spools of Romex and cut a bunch of wire. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like, even when copper wasn't expensive, I had one of my guys at a job. He carried down, so I have a Pro Press gun. The thing cost me like $7 grand altogether. The dude, my buddy, or the guy that works for me, carried it down to like the first floor of this building we were doing in Dorchester. Of course, happened in Dorchester. Everything's the first floor. He goes up to get the rest of the tools, comes back down because this thing's like heavy as crap. You can't carry it with anything else. So he goes down. He's like, where the hell did it just go? The thing's gone. One of the cabinet guys was trying to steal it, and they hid it in like one of the apartments, like in a cabinet. And he like had to walk around for like an hour looking for it. Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy how people do literally anything for money. And they probably would have sold that for a couple $100. I think it was like $7 grand. Like, no joke. It's insane. Yeah, they don't care. $500 in damage for $5. Yeah, that's pretty much what happens with copper. It's awful.
And Phil, to circle it back to you, if indeed at least a substantial portion of the copper rally is a short squeeze, like if you're not an experienced trader, do you want to try and chase that? I mean, how much sustainability does that have?
Well, this is where you got to really put your thinking cap on. You've got to manage your risk. You've got to manage your position sizing. One of the more recent plays that we had recommended to our clients was a particular call spread where it's a calculated risk trade, which has a favorable risk to reward ratio, but it also defined the risks involved. So when it comes to investing of any type, you know, you always want to manage position sizing, making sure that it's risk capital that's involved. So if you were going to step into the market right now, you know, on the copper market, you could take some of these calculated risk option plays, or you could look at the micro copper contract, which is only 2,500 pounds. So every penny move, say from something like $5 to 501 would be a $25 positive impact in your account, or a dip down to 499, a $25 negative impact.
Tim, now let's stick with risk management here. So the approach that we would have with the futures market, and whether you're investing directly in the futures or an ETF, that's a little bit different than a stock play where you're investing with miners. How do you go about that? How do you advise clients the best way to approach?
I heard miners.
We have coverage names that are a little more liquid, like Freeport. We have names with a nice dividend, like Southern Copper, and then we cover tech resources, which we think has the most interesting combination of a little discounted valuation because it's a show me story and execution of their operational ramp up at QB2, and some more interesting growth. So in our view, if you can have copper exposure with copper growth, that's the way to go.
Tim, I want to turn to gold and silver a little bit more now too, because as you look at the miners, I mean, many of them do multiple different metals that they are mining, but I'm curious what you think about the trajectory for those metals and which miners might be best poised to take advantage.
Sure, we don't unfortunately cover precious. We do have exposure through Freeport, where they do mine gold. Their Grasberg mine is the largest gold producer in the world, and it's a great byproduct credit benefit to them. It's an interesting market when you see geopolitical risk helping gold, but also copper at all-time highs. It's not usually, you know, they usually go in different directions. So it's an incremental positive for sure for Freeport.
And Phil, talk to me please about some of the volatility that we've seen in the futures market this year. I was just looking at a heat map we have on the Wi-Fi Interactive, and cocoa is actually up the most this year. It's up 68%, although it's still down 30% from its highs. Just wondering how investors should consider some of the volatility embedded in these markets before rushing out and investing in a metal.
Yeah, this is where you got to weigh in as far as those mini and micro contracts, account size, and everything else. A lot of the volatility we've seen, you know, is because of the rising geopolitical tensions. You've also seen increased consumer investments, and one of the largest speculative long positions that we've seen in the last 2 years in the gold market. So you get geopolitical events, things that happen over the weekend and things like that. You're going to see a lot of that volatility here because of the fact that people are so embedded in the market. They've got so much exposure there. The more participants you have coming in there, it's like a river and they all rushes in one direction here at the moment. So you always got to keep your 1 foot out of the door here.
Damn, gold's at $2,400.
And be ready to, you know, be the first person to leave. They always have an old saying in commodities, you want to arrive to the party late, but be the first person to leave.
I like that. Timna, I'm going to give you the last word here. Anything we didn't touch on in this discussion that you want to leave with viewers?
I think you can't ignore the 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is China. China accounts for 50% of all demand for commodities that we follow on the metal side. And I think that China's a big question mark. So clearly they're farther along in terms of EV adoption than we are here in the North American market. But, and so that's positive for transmission lines for copper demand. But on the flip side, their property sector is, I'd say, in very late innings of development. You've seen, months now of the completion side reversing, which is usually negative for copper. So are we seeing net copper demand in China or not? I think a lot of that will depend on how these stimulus measures play out. And so far, they've not been that impressive. So I think we have to include China in any of these discussions.
All right. Never forget the 800-pound gorilla. Thank you, Timna. And
all right, let's move on. Shout out to Yahoo Finance for that. Jim C said a few years ago, gold seemed so expensive compared to BTC. Now it seems super cheap. It really is. It's crazy to think about actually like that. We still looking good? Dude, everything's still in the deep green. This is crazy. This is a crazy market. It's awesome. Love it. All right, let's move on. Howard Hughes, holding CEO. Flexibility needs to build into our community plans. Let's see. We got to say over here about the housing BS. CNBC television. Let's do it.
These heightened prices could be leading some to question how lucrative it is to invest in real estate right now.
Are any of you guys invested in real estate, rental properties, anything like that? Let me know. We'll get into the crypto news in a minute.
A new Gallup poll, Americans still believe that real estate is the most solid investment you can make. 36% saying it was, versus just 22% for the stock market. But rewind a little bit. 2 years ago, pandemic panic buying, when more people actually said housing was the best place to be. So it's come down just a bit, but let's talk more about that. With us is Howard Hughes Holding CEO David O'Reilly. Howard Hughes is the developer behind communities like Summerlin, Nevada, Bridgeland, Texas, and the awesome-looking new Juniper Merriweather.
Real quick, shout out to Cape Cod Crypto, dude. Congrats, man. He said closing on a house today. That's awesome. Is it a rental property? Good for you, man. I hope that is. Also, somebody said they went up to a Tesla charging station and saw all the charger things stolen. What are those made out of? And how the hell do you cut those? They'll get shocked to shit. Is it like, does it shut off until you pay it or something? Like, how does that even happen? That's crazy.
Columbia, Maryland. Is that near Merriweather Post Pavilion, scene of my first concert as a teenager?
Yeah, we've built those two multifamily buildings, the ground floor retail, a busboy and poets, on what was the parking for Merriweather Post Pavilion, re-densifying that downtown as originally envisioned by Jim Rouse.
Yeah, because Columbia is a unique place. I studied urban planning a little bit. It was designed to be a new city from the ground up.
As are all of our communities.
They are. And like Summerlin's got its actual own downtown.
Absolutely.
Own shopping, some great restaurants, et cetera. Maybe a Mark Wahlberg sighting, who knows?
God, these communities are cool. They're talking about like a residential community they build basically. And then they're nice, but like you got HOAs and all this other bullshit you got to pay for when you move into them, and then they're way too expensive. It's I don't know. I'm not a fan.
What have you learned about
cool,
what people want from a community?
I think it's always changing. And the thing that's most important to us is that we build with flexibility. When you think about Columbia started in 1967 or the Woodland started in 1974, no one put places on their master plan for where their cell towers would be. Right? We didn't have phones. We didn't have cellular service. So as we think about building for the next 50 years in Arizona, in Summerlin, and Bridgeland, the flexibility that we build into the plans. I mean, Jim Rouse said it best, and he started Columbia, the first master plan community ever. What we should be building is what better meets the needs and yearnings of people than what we have today.
Which is
Mr. Pringle, that is not true. There's no way. HOA in Hawaii is over $2,000 a month.
Bruh.
No way. That's absurd.
Living and working relatively in a close area.
Access to nature, short commutes.
You know, I kind of believe it because a loaf of bread's like $7 in Hawaii.
More time with our family.
It's probably more now.
That's what today's consumer and home buyer is looking for, and that's what we're delivering.
So you saw the survey. People keep wondering how much higher, the biggest question I get besides stuff about the stock market is how are home prices still going up and mortgage rates still going up? And I'm like, talk to David O'Reilly. I don't know.
I think the easy answer is that mortgage rates have had a greater impact on supply than demand. We still have household formation. We still have new home buyers, average age 35. We still have retirees, average 65, that are looking to buy homes. And the only place they can buy is new construction because the resale market has evaporated with most Americans locked in with a way below market mortgage.
Or they're paying cash, they don't care. If you're buying a house cash, you do not care what mortgage rates are.
But if you're buying from...
If you buy a house in cash, it's kind of foolish. I mean, you know what, I'm on the same... man, every time I think about this, it's like, it's such a bad idea to do it. But at the same time, like, the interest rate's going to kill you over the years. And I don't know. What do you guys think about that, buying a house in cash? How stupid is that? Is it smart to you guys, or is it stupid? Like, I'd love to live debt free, right? But at the same time, like, just keep the money in the bank. I don't know. It's weird.
A large public home builder, a large national home builder, they're willing to buy down your rate 150 to 200 basis points. And
I mean, my goal is to pay off my house with this whole crypto thing, right? Like, that's the end goal, right? Let's pay everything off. But I don't know.
Makes it much more tenable than what on its surface.
And that's, you guys, you can do that.
Those home builders.
Yeah, DJ, you got a good point. If the interest rates are high, yeah, then yeah, for sure.
Are doing that, yes.
Yeah. Do you guys do anything like that or work with financing? You got somebody out there who wants to move to Summerlin. What are their options?
Well, we try to pair them with the right mortgage lender that we can, but at the end of the day, that's a transaction between the home builder and the resident. We're selling the land to the home builders, and we're doing that on a price per acre hitting record highs.
Just go to your chairman, Bill Ackman, see if you could throw him some money, you know, at a favorable rate.
Well, look, it's a wonderful business to be in, but we're selling land to home builders in Summerlin at an average 70% margin. So
7-0.
7-0. So relative to a home builder making 24%, which they did the first quarter on average, or a mortgage lender trying to get double-digit returns, we think selling land is a much better business plan.
Okay, Arizona. What would be the perfect? There's not a perfect price. That's probably a stupid question, David. But what would be your sweet spot for a price point for a new development in Arizona?
In terms of the home,
we just did the median at 434,000.
Yeah,
right?
We just closed on 450 lots to home builders, of which we expect those homes will be priced in the mid 300s.
Okay,
and we're under.
So you want affordability,
absolutely,
community, close to where you work, hopefully.
Yes, sir.
Places you can eat and drink around there.
Self-contained ecosystem: live, work, play, learn, discover, pray.
All that stuff. Who names them?
We have really smart people.
I'm just curious. I mean, it's not like, let's call it Summerlin.
Terra Vallis is the land of the valley. It's a Latin translation.
Yep. Juniper Merriweather. I get Merriweather Post.
Summerlin is Howard Hughes' maternal grandmother, Jean Amelia Summerlin.
Is that? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Howard Hughes, the guy.
Yeah, the man.
The aviator.
Yes, sir.
That's random but interesting. We've got an RBI now. I know Howard Hughes' maternal grandmother's name.
All right. Anyways, shout out to them. I was reading the chat. So you guys, I need my card. Said pay off my. Hold on. He said I paid off my house 2 times now. Even pay it off, you still need to pay BS taxes for the land on your house. Yeah, for sure. He said I would rather make a monthly payment than have more liquid cash. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's like, it's such a double-edged sword. So like, I guess our interest rate's really low, so it's a good. I don't know. We bought it like a good time. I don't think we're ever going to see interest rates as low as I have it now. But it's. I don't know. Like, I would like to pay it off, but at the same time, it's like almost stupid to do it. You know what I mean? Let's see. Let me see. Max said something. Where was it? At less than 3%, I will never pay my house off. Well, not with that attitude, Max. Damn it. All right, let's move on to the crypto world. CNBC television. Grayscale CEO Michael Sonnenschein steps down, replaced by Goldman executive. Wow, he stepped down? Damn. Well, good. He was weird anyways. Let's do it.
Today, Michael Sonnenschein steps down as CEO of Grayscale.
I didn't see that coming, though,
The New York Attorney General settles with bankrupt crypto lender Genesis. And we take a look at a growing list of actions by the SEC to regulate DeFi and what they mean for the second largest cryptocurrency, Ethereum.
Real quick, Crypto Frank said, sold some BTC, felt good. Remember to pick up a number and sell it. Don't get greedy, faster than it pumps. Yeah, exactly, Crypto Frank. Yeah, you know what? Like I said, Thursday, probably before Thursday is like the time to kind of get a little bit out if you can. But not financial advice. Crypto Kurt said, yeah, I have 3.5% current, and what is considered good now is like 6 to 7. Yeah, we landed on my house, we landed a 2.61 interest rate, which is like, I don't think I'll ever see it that low again, ever.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Mackenzie Sigalos. Bitcoin has hovered around the $67,000 mark all weekend and is jumping above that level again this morning. By noon Eastern, that cryptocurrency rose about 0.75%. Ether, meanwhile, is up nearly 1.4% this morning to the $3,100 level, and Uniswap's token inched 0.4% higher.
Wait, this is literally like a couple hours ago, 16 hours ago or something, saying 67,000 on Bitcoin's crazy.
773.
Alien Black says no mortgages, 0%. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Michael Sonnenschein has stepped down as CEO of Grayscale after a decade on the job. The company announced that Peter Mintzberg, the global head of strategy for Goldman Sachs' asset and wealth management division, will take over. Mintzberg previously worked at BlackRock, Oppenheimer Funds, and Invesco. Of course, under Sonnenschein's leadership, Grayscale played a pivotal role in the launch of spot Bitcoin ETFs.
They did.
The company sued the SEC for its denial to convert the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into an ETF. The court then sided with Grayscale, saying that the regulator was wrong to deny the application. GBTC was the largest Bitcoin ETF to come to market back in January, but has a steady stream of outflows this year, $17 billion, according to FactSet. At the same time, GBTC's management fee is significantly higher than competing ETFs on the market. In a statement, Sonnenschein said the crypto asset class is at an important inflection point, and this is the right moment for a smooth transition. I wish the Grayscale team every success in its next chapter. Next, New York's Attorney General Letitia James is settling with bankrupt crypto lender Genesis for $2 billion. Now, back in October, James sued Genesis, its parent company Digital Currency Group, and partner company Gemini Trust, alleging that they misled investors about the Gemini Earn lending product. The deal does bar Genesis from operating in the state of New York and creates a victims fund for nearly 30,000 New York residents who gave more than $1 billion to Genesis through the Gemini Earn product. Notably, the settlement does not include partner company Gemini. The bankruptcy court has also approved a separate settlement that ends an SEC lawsuit against Genesis. That restructuring includes a repayment plan for customers who have had their tokens frozen on the platform since withdrawals were halted in November of 2022 after the collapse of FTX. All right, for our main story, as the SEC continues its spate of enforcement actions against centralized crypto players, the regulator has also set its sights on decentralized finance and Ethereum. DeFi players like Uniswap and Consensus have disclosed Wells notices from the agency, and the SEC has even reportedly begun investigating the Ethereum Foundation itself. Crypto World took a look at what the growing list of regulatory action by the SEC means for DeFi and Ethereum just ahead of an expected decision on Ether ETFs this week.
Real quick, Fully Electric said he's still waiting to get his money back from Gemini. Damn, that's terrible. Peace out, Yusuf. Have a good day,
the
buddy.
SEC is just days away from approving or denying spot Ether ETFs, but the agency's stance on Ether is very much uncertain, and it's...
What do you guys think? Approval or denial? Throw it in the chat. Let me know. Put a 1 if you think it's going to get approved, 2 if you think it's going to get denied.
Crackdown on the crypto industry is only getting more intense. So far this year, the agency has sent Wells notices, filed lawsuits, or reached settlements with a whole host of crypto firms, and the agency's legal challenges are increasingly focused on Ethereum and decentralized finance in particular.
Holy crap, there's actually a few of you that think it's going to get approved. DJ, for one, wow, interesting. Game with Smoky Dan, Plox, I think that's how you say that, and then Alien Black, wow. Damn, you know what? I'm like on the fence. I don't know if it's going to happen. It's making me nervous. Like, I don't know if I should sell some Ethereum now or if I should just hold it. And you know what? I'm going to get caught again. Yeah, Crypto Frank too. You think it's going to get approved? Oh man. Where's my magic 8-ball? We need to find that. We need to ask it a question.
DeFi firms, including Shapeshift, TradeStation, Uniswap, and Consensus, have received Wells notices or settled with the SEC in 2024. And that comes just as the agency is reportedly investigating the Ethereum Foundation.
This is the harder case, the decentralized exchanges. It's less clear whether they are like an alternative trading system or a market maker, or whether they really are just a technology that, like, say, an unhosted wallet that allows you to do things with crypto that does not make you a broker-dealer.
The industry argues if the second largest cryptocurrency gets classified as a security, it could throw the future of the Ethereum network and many adjacent crypto firms into question. Exchanges both centralized and decentralized would be forced to choose, registered with the SEC, or delist Ether altogether.
If the SEC, in fact, does take the position that Ethereum is a security, pretty much everyone in this business that is using or providing services on the Ethereum blockchain, they're going to be on notice that they might need to be registered. And so whatever protections they thought they had before are no longer going to be there, and we're going to see really a shift in the industry.
Wow, that could go sideways real quick, actually.
Consensus tried to preempt the SEC's action with its own lawsuit, claiming regulatory overreach. Consensus says this followed 3 subpoenas issued last year, and a Wells notice from the SEC that claimed MetaMask Swaps, Consensus's business that lets users swap crypto tokens, as well as its MetaMask staking product, violated federal securities laws.
What's been alarming for us is they've been really targeting our developers. They asked for a list of the names of any Consensus developers who contributed any coding to the merge. They asked for the identities of public and private Consensus software developer code repositories. And those are very strange requests from a financial regulator. You know, I can speak to that because I used to be in the CFTC's enforcement division and investigated cases myself.
The company's CEO, Joe Lubin, who's also a co-founder of Ethereum, told Wired magazine it's plausible the SEC could be taking a heightened interest in Ethereum because the regulator thinks its native token looks more like a security after the merge. That's when Ethereum switched from a proof of work to a proof of stake protocol. The network required volunteered users to hold its native token to validate transactions and generate new Ether.
First, we're asking the court to declare both that Ether is not a security and that the SEC lacks jurisdiction to investigate Ethereum. We're also looking for the court to declare that our MetaMask wallet, and specifically the features MetaMask swaps and MetaMask staking, are not unregistered securities brokers and they're not distributing securities.
The SEC is going to have to respond to this complaint. And the way they do that is they file an answer. So they're going to be hard-pressed not to state in their answer whether they think Ethereum is a security or not. I suspect that because of the proof-of-stake concept that changed in 2022 with Ethereum, they are going to take the position that it is a security.
Another major player to receive a Wells notice this year, Uniswap, hasn't taken legal action against the SEC, but a blog post titled Fighting for DeFi did say its legal team would be taking on the fight. Both Consensus and Uniswap suggest the SEC's broad approach to classifying securities may be outdated.
Every step in technology requires us to sit and rethink, how should this work? And does the framework we have now already work? And I think we're getting to the point where the framework we have now might not already work for a lot of these different decentralized applications.
Do you think that they'd ever go back to proof of work? I don't think they would, man. I don't know. I think it would be awesome. It'd be sick. I'd enjoy it, but man, could you imagine? That would change things so. That would be so crazy. That would be so crazy. If it came back to proof of work and it just completely changed the mining aspect, just changed the mining game again. It'd be crazy.
The same way that when you're browsing, the internet on Google Chrome is not the offerer of the websites and services you're accessing through it. And I think that's really the best analogy for what MetaMask is doing.
In its blog post, Uniswap points to a court decision in the SEC vs. Ripple case that it says, quote, makes clear that secondary market transactions in digital assets generally do not constitute investment contracts, thus alleging that the SEC has no jurisdiction over Uniswap. We reached out to Uniswap about how it plans to respond to its Wells notice from the SEC, but the platform declined to comment. One thing the SEC has been clear on is its classification of Bitcoin as a commodity. With Ether, the regulator has had more of a rocky history.
When we look at Bitcoin or if we look at Ether and the highly decentralized nature of the networks, we don't see a third-party promoter where applying the disclosure regime would make a lot of sense. So we're comfortable in some sort of viewing these as items that don't have to be regulated as securities.
Is Ether a commodity or a security?
Without speaking to any one.
I know you've repeatedly said you're not going to speak to one, except you've spoken to one, Bitcoin. So I'm asking you to speak to a second one, the second largest market cap here.
And speaking to the tokens, there's 10 to 12,000.
The SEC believes that much of the industry belongs under its jurisdiction already, and its lawsuits are simply bringing the industry under compliance. Crypto firms argue that the recent legal battles haven't given the regulatory clarity the industry has been asking for. Meanwhile, centralized players are still facing scrutiny too. In May, investment platform Robinhood announced it received a Wells notice for the company's crypto operations.
So if we've got companies that are, wasting resources trying to figure out, am I a broker dealer? Are these asset securities? We're already having a hard enough time trying to get them to be compliant with other, important laws, anti-money laundering laws, anti-bribery and corruption laws, all the different state laws in the U.S. are around fraud.
We asked the SEC about its recent Wells notices sent to crypto firms, and an agency spokesperson declined to comment.
Of course they
At
did.
the same time, all eyes are on the agency's upcoming decision on spot Ether ETFs to see if the agency gives any more insight as to whether it believes Ether is a security and could face more oversight in the near future.
That's crazy. All right. Shout out to Crypto World CNBC for that, and shout out to Game with Smokey Dan for this. Magic 8 Ball site. Will Ethereum ETF be approved? Let's see. Let's shake the 8 ball. What the hell? Most likely.
Perfect.
Look at that. Zoom in so you guys can't see it. This site's a riot. This is great. I didn't have to spend $15 on a real one. I could have just used this. Where the hell were you last month? Oh, it just made my morning. That was great. All right, let's see what Lark Davis got to say. Moving on to videos. Here is when the crypto bull run will end. It just started, Lark. The hell? What in the hell are you doing? All right, let's get into it, guys. That like button. Appreciate you for hanging out.
Chances are you've noticed it. We're in a Bitcoin bull market, baby. Woo! BTC's up more than 300% since the 2022 bottom. Alts like Solana, wowzers. Dog with hat, they put the dog on the hat, it's staying on, it went crazy. Now, does this mean it's time to consider taking some money off the table? Maybe it's getting late in the cycle. It's all over. Or
real quick, Crypto Frank in the house. Thank you for the 999 super chat. He said, what's crazy about ETH is if they voted and removed all developers from the vote for proof of work versus proof of stake, it would be proof of work 100%.
Perfect.
You know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Thank you for the 999 super chat. I appreciate it.
Or is there fuel left in the tank? Are we just getting started? When might this bull run actually end? Well, to answer this question, we're going to first zoom out on the macroeconomic landscape and then zoom back in to peek at some very crypto-specific technicals and indicators that we like to use to say, well, maybe the top's coming, maybe it's not. Let's talk about the stock market first. I know we're not just in a crypto bull market, but also in a bull market for stocks, hitting new all-time highs again. Crazy. While these assets are not totally correlated, the fact is that like stocks, crypto is influenced by macro conditions and risk on, risk off attitudes in broader investing markets. So let's look at our neighbor assets over here and try to assess how far the bull market progress is. Fidelity's Jurian Timmer has looked at historical stock bull markets and averaged the percentage gains and the duration. The black line is the current bull market. Now, Timmer concludes, over the past 100 years, the median bull market has produced a gain of 90% spanning around 30 months. By that,
again, thank you very much, Crypto Frank. Appreciate it.
that measure, there should be some life left for this cycle. So if 12 o'clock is the start of the cycle compared to the longest cycles in history, it's only around 3 p.m. right now. Still some time. Based on the average cycle, it's around 6 p.m., a little bit later, but still plenty of juice in the tank. The takeaway from this indicator is that we could be roughly halfway through the current stock bull market, pointing at a top around the summer of 2025, which would be a bit earlier than 4-year Bitcoin cycle enthusiasts might hope for what would be a top to come in later 2025, around October, November, December. As always, watch for top signals to flash. Go watch my top signals video if you want some help identifying some of those top signals that we so commonly see in the cryptocurrency market. Link below. Let's talk about global liquidity, man, because this is what really moves markets. Look, some more general indicators can be important to watch out. And there's a whole bunch of indicators that analysts like to look at to gauge what stage of the bull market we're actually in. So the ISM is such an indicator. It's also known as the Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI, and it's a monthly indicator of U.S. economic activity. The ISM tells us that something about where we are in the business cycle. The business cycle, of course, is the time that it takes the economy to go through all 4 phases of the cycle: expansion, peak, contraction, and trough. In crypto, we often use seasons to talk about this: summer, winter, spring, that kind of stuff, right? Now, as you can see, we are in the stage right now where economic activity is starting to pick up. Now, why is this important? Well, macro analysts often pull up these indicators and correlate them with, for example, stock market prices and or global liquidity, aka the ease with which money is available to ape into assets in global financial markets, driving up the prices, which is what we all want. Well, we will come to the correlation between ISM and liquidity in a second, but here's a chart of global liquidity by Torsten Slok, head economist of Apollo. It measures liquidity by adding up bank reserves and money market assets. The Apollo chart shows that there is currently record high liquidity waiting to push stock prices higher. Once the Fed starts lowering interest rates, which probably coming later this year, especially considering the inflation data we just got the other day, some of the $6 trillion in money market funds is likely to find its way into stocks and, yes, into crypto. There certainly is enough fuel there for a continuation of the bull market for some time. Hundreds of billions are going to come back in. Indeed, past cycles have proven that global liquidity is a super important variable in the way in which it correlates with crypto prices, and is definitely not to be ignored. After all, what do you think will happen with prices if a flood of money from traditional finance systems starts chasing relatively small assets such as crypto, plus, of course, all the central bank printing going on? US is printing, China's printing, everyone's printing. Now, this chart here by Raoul Pal.
Real quick, before it gets into that, Crypto Frank said we should start a petition to sign our votes to Trump if he guarantees to remove Gary G. You know, didn't he say he was going to remove Jay Powell, if I'm not mistaken? That he was going to take him out? I would be shocked if he didn't take out Gary with him, because he's appointed by the president, right? So
Powell shows how the ISM, converted for clarity in this chart, correlates very well with global liquidity. Raoul Powell extrapolates that the way the ISM will behave and overlays the global liquidity chart on it. Fascinating. Just look at it. To be exact, the year-on-year change of global liquidity, the growth of global liquidity, is projected to peak somewhere in fall of 2024 or possibly in early 2025. Now, this, by the way, doesn't mean that crypto will top at that exact liquidity acceleration peak, but it suggests that the most violent part of the bull market coincides closely with that peak rate of change. So that suggests peak frenzy around potentially this fall. We shall see how that plays out, or again, early next year. You can see in this chart that the highest year-on-year accelerations or decelerations of global liquidity tend to coincide with the fiercest run-ups and crashes of Bitcoin. So what about the previous cycle? When BTC peaked in November 2021, not visible on the chart, as the chart is about price change, not absolute price. Still, though, the percentage change of global liquidity had peaked roughly 10 months earlier. So what can be taken away from this? Well, if liquidity and the way that crypto is correlated to it play out roughly the same way as this previous cycle, then BTC will top out roughly 10 months after September 2024. So looking at summer 2025, which is a nice bit of confluence with earlier timing of the predicted bull market top for stocks by Julian Timmer. Of course, if that ends up being early 2025, then we take it out to the end of 2025 for the market peak. For extra dramatic effect, Raoul Powell recently...
End of 2020. I don't know if you think it would go that far. End of 2025? Huh.
Shared this chart of global liquidity in absolute terms. Nice little wedge pattern there, isn't it? Ready to explode to the upside, or so it seems. Now, before we talk about...
Hold on. Dan R. said, breaking news. Reuters reports SEC asks NASDAQ and CBOE, is that what you meant to say? To update the spot Ethereum ETF filings? What do you mean to update them?
Bitcoin dominance, which is something we should be paying a bit of attention to.
Shill's newsletter.
Now, let's move on to that more familiar turf, crypto. That's all the macro stuff. Very important. Don't ignore it. What we can say about the progression of the bull market from the way Bitcoin behaves in relation to altcoins. Let's have a look. Well, in this chart, you see how in both the previous and the current cycle, Bitcoin rallies first, after which altcoins tend to catch up. Think of it as Bitcoin throwing the first punch in a rally, and then riding on those Bitcoin wins, investors start dabbling in the altcoin jungle, hunting for the next big treasure. It goes like this. 1, money flows into Bitcoin. 2, Bitcoin starts rising. 3, Bitcoin dominance peaks. 4, people cycle BTC profits into alt. 5, altcoin dominance peaks. 6.
All right, sorry, don't care for a second. Move this over. Oh God. Oh my God. All right, I can't stand Chrome, man. Like, look at this. Look at how crazy Google is, dude. Because I've been looking up. This is the solar setup I'm getting. Because I did this. This is an ad that pops up. Like, get out of here. All right. SEC asked NASDAQ and CBOE to update spot Ethereum ETF filings. I don't even know what the CBOE is, to be honest. Let's see. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, has reportedly requested that both NASDAQ and the Chicago Board Options Exchange, that's what CBOE stands for, make appropriate updates to their applications to list spot Ethereum ETFs, according to a Reuters report. Indeed, the request arrives amid a surge in expectations regarding the potential approval of the Ethereum or Ether-based investment product. Earlier this week, Bloomberg increased the odds of Ethereum ETF approval from its previous 25% to a remarkable 75% chance. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Started 2024, the SEC issued landmark approval for their inaugural spot Bitcoin ETF. Yeah, we know all that shit. All right, I guess we'll just wait. We'll just wait to see what happens with this. That's neat. Damn. Man, I'm going to be stunned if we get approved.
The market tops.
That's
and then
wild.
starts crashing. Yeah, you don't want to be holding at that point. It's this altcoin season phase of the bull market that we haven't really seen yet. People haven't cycled their BTC gains into alts, at least not in a big way. We've seen mini versions of this, but nothing in a big way yet. You can see what a true altcoin season looks like by charting the dominance of BTC, the percent.
Dan says CBOE equal. Oh no, so 100 Air said this. Crypto Bros on ETH. That's what it stands for.
Percentage that it represents of the total cryptocurrency market. Great. We see that true alt seasons are quite rare. Lots of money's made in altcoins in the last 18 months, to be clear. But an alt season is defined as a longer period where altcoins rise much faster as a whole market.
Altcoins are going to explode.
Bitcoin measured as a percentage of the market. The last major alt season we had was in early 2021. The orange line is BTC dominance. The blue line is percent of market cap of altcoins outside of the top 10. In the current bull market, BTC dominance is still on the rise. Of course, there's no guarantee, obviously, that we're going to see another wild, massive altcoin rally season. But historically speaking, it has happened on many occasions, including in the 2017 bull market, which again, not even on the above chart because it's just so small, so far away. Takeaway this. We haven't seen a true alt season in this bull market, suggesting that we are not yet in the final phase of this bull market. We still have plenty of gas in the tank. Not even close, in my opinion. So when bull markets get overheated and near their inevitable end, which will come, all kinds of signals start to flash. For example, and again, go watch our top signals video, link in the description. The so-called Mayer multiple rises very sharply and exceeds the value.
All right, I'm going to be honest. I don't think anybody is going to pay attention to these indicators when the top is near. But if you want to finish this, please feel free. We're going to jump into Altcoin Daily's video. He actually gets together with George here and the guy from Cryptos R Us and talks a little bit about the parabolic stage of the crypto bull run. I want to kind of listen to this because it's about 20 minutes long. So I'm going to be running a little bit longer than I typically do. But what I want to stress to you guys, you need to have a plan to get out when the top is near or coming, right? You guys need to have a plan, okay? So like my ledger, for example, getting my crypto out of my ledger, I didn't realize how hard it was. It was awful. Geek of all trades got his Litecoin stuck in his ledger for I think like a week. He took forever for him to get it out. So you guys need to have some sort of plan ready to go. So just keep that in mind and don't Don't wait on it. Like, get it ready now so you're able to send it out when the time is here. All right, let's jump into this and see what they got to say over here on Altcoin Daily. Guys, please hit that like button. It'd be nice if we get to 100 likes. Appreciate you all. Let's do it.
Nothing else is indicating that 73K is our peak for this cycle.
Today I interviewed George
It's definitely
of Cryptos
not.
Are Us.
No, everything else is indicating that we have just really begun the parabolic stage.
As he shares his Bitcoin and crypto outlook for the remainder of 2024.
We could go from 60,000 to 100,000 by the end of the year. And then we have still a full year left.
Also, I asked George what could go wrong.
So my fear is that's what Gary is planning on doing.
And watch today's whole video. We talk altcoins and more. If I gave you $1,000, you could only invest in AI altcoins. Click the like button right now if you...
Yeah, I agree. Mr. Fully Electric said, Tangent for the win. Just swap within the app, ETH or BTC to stablecoin, USDC or USDT. And that's exactly what I'm planning on doing. I put most of my holdings in my Tangent and I will just convert it. I don't even care if it costs me $1,000 to convert it within the app. It'll be a fast transfer and I won't lose that $1,000. Like, I would lose it if I just tried to do it through Coinbase or something like that. So if you guys are interested, check out Tangent CCXD for 10% off. But yeah, it's my favorite wallet by far.
You appreciate these conversations, and let's start. Bitcoin topped out, around 73,000, has been consolidating for weeks. What's your outlook for crypto for the second half of this year?
Well, I'm very bullish. You know me, I'm always bullish. But recently when we fell down to 56 and it got a little scary because a lot of analysts started saying that, hey, it's natural for Bitcoin to take a breather, but also go down to as low as like 52,000 before bouncing back up. And we were around 56, 57. It didn't seem like that was likely. But, I kind of looked at it and thought about it. I'm like, okay, yeah, Bitcoin has come up so much within such a short amount of time. We need a breather. It's okay. We have seen previous cycles where Bitcoin has fallen 20, 25, 30, 35%. And that was that. It was just a breather consolidation point, and then it continued higher. And we know we're after the halving event. This is the parabolic bull stage right now for Bitcoin. So for a second half, I think one of two things. One is we either go sideways a little bit longer, and I've drawn out like 63.7, 63.8 is like an important support / resistance level. So I anticipate if we are going to go sideways, we'll probably go hover right around there, up or down by a few thousand points, and go maybe until September, and that's when we start moving again. Or we just start moving. We just start going higher. Because ETFs, they're starting to have a lot of inflows. The institutions and banks and companies, they're starting to FOMO in once again. So that negates everything. I've always said, when there's FOMO, it just trumps what the charts say, what the TAs say. When there's billions and billions of dollars coming into the market, Bitcoin's going to go upwards, right? So I think it's one of two scenarios.
What are the odds?
By the way, real quick, when I said I don't care if it costs me $1,000, that's like, exchanging like 100K or something into USDT from like Ethereum, Bitcoin. You know what I mean? I was just giving a rough number. It doesn't cost that much to swap it out of Tangent. But yeah, I put a link in the top. If you guys are interested, it should put in the code for you when you click on it. But you guys can use anyone's. I don't care. Tangent by far is the easiest wallet I've found to use personally.
Odds in your mind that Bitcoin has already topped for the year? 73 was the top.
Oh, 0%. I have the only theory that someone has pointed out recently was some I forgot the guy who created it, but it's like a 5.3 theory. And it was looking at I guess the increase in gain, and then you divide it by a certain number, and somehow it came out to be about 74,000. That's the only theory I've heard from anyone that says, yeah, we may have topped out. But everything else I'm looking at, and I'm sure you guys are too, all the metrics that measure tops and bottoms and whether we're in a parabolic stage or not, or Fibonacci levels or whatever the case may be, nothing else is indicating that 73K is our peak for this cycle. No, everything else is indicating that we have just really begun the parabolic stage. And this 4-year cycle is about to get exciting. So 0% in my mind that 73K is the top for this cycle.
I concur. Just in the sense that, for the first time ever, Bitcoin has regulatory, it's cleared the way. BlackRock is accumulating. So I don't see 73 as the top. But let me ask you this, George.
So some of you guys, somebody just said, Crypto KJ said 90K top of the for this year, in his opinion, right? And Daddy Chill said 192K. Really? 192K. Damn, that'd be crazy. I think personally, if we get through 100K, we're gonna blast up to about $120. I don't think we're gonna see more than $120. That's just my opinion. But again, I'm not a trader, not a wizard. I don't know anything. Like, nobody knows where it's gonna go. It could be massive. It could be way lower than we expect. Nobody knows.
George, once we do surpass all-time highs, maybe that's September, maybe that's in 2 weeks. What's your updated take on how high Bitcoin could go top of cycle?
Oh, that's anyone's guess, but a lot of people have made some very bullish predictions. I've seen some people say, hey, $1 million or $3 million by 2030, not 2025. But in order for those numbers to happen, Bitcoin has to be, you would figure, at least 200,000, 300,000 by this cycle. And I do think that's accurate. I think it's not too far-fetched. Right now, we're sitting around 67,000. Once we break 73, we head to 80, 90, 100,000. I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that we're going to double from 100,000, 200,000. That doesn't seem too far-fetched anymore. But when I was calling it, and everyone, maybe some others were calling it, when Bitcoin was 20,000 heading to 200,000, that seems far-fetched. But I think once Bitcoin surpasses 100,000, just doubling from there to 200,000 doesn't seem so far-fetched. And I think that's a real possibility. I mean, it's still early this year. We're only in May. We're not even halfway through. And we know how fast Bitcoin can move. If you look at 2023, starting September, October timeframe, that's when Bitcoin went from 30,000 all the way to 70,000 within just a few months, right? And that was after months and months and months and years of crypto winter and consolidation. So certainly something like that can happen, even if we go sideways until September. We could go from 60,000 to 100,000 by the end of the year. And then we have...
No, the biggest thing I want you guys to understand, though, is like, it doesn't matter where we go. You need to have a plan to get out. Pick a number, whatever number makes sense to you. That's the number you need to get out at. Don't cry if it goes up another 10, 20, 30 grand. It doesn't matter. All right. Take the money and run. If it can change your life, change your freaking life. You know what I mean? Don't just sit there and hope that's going to keep going. And don't cry about it if you sell early. Get out, pay your bills, do what you got to do, like, period. So you get a number and get it set and put it like down somewhere and stick to it so you guys don't screw yourselves.
Have still a full year left, or maybe a half a year left in 2025 to go higher. So I'm predicting somewhere between 150 to 250,000.
I recall back in 2017,
because all these predictions don't mean jack. Nobody knows.
Where everybody was saying 10K for Bitcoin seemed unbelievable, but their goal, and how quickly we went past 10K and went to 19K, in a matter of weeks. So it gets crazy. This cycle, specifically, we have Gary Gensler. He seems to be adamant to kill the growth of crypto in America. If he takes the Ethereum Foundation in a lawsuit, in a legal battle, what do you think that means for altcoins for this year?
You know what? There's only one scenario I think that happens. And unfortunately, I think it has a high probability because I look at history. When did the SEC start its lawsuit against Ripple? Well, I remember that was the former chair, Jay Clayton at the time. He was the one that approved Bitcoin futures, and this was back in 2017. And I remember on his way out, he declared XRP was a security and decided to sue Ripple, literally in his last week in office, because he knew it's not his fight. Who cares? Just declare it and he's gone, right? And I don't know who put him to it. Maybe someone put him to it. So my fear is that's what Gary is planning on doing. He's already lost against Ripple, starting right now. And among all the other lawsuits, he lost to Grayscale. he's probably going to lose to Coinbase. It's just nothing but losses.
He's definitely
right. So I don't think he wants to take on any more battles. But I think on his last week, there could be a chance he does that. And he's like, okay, he cleans his hands, he moves away, but he may declare that. Now, to answer your question, if he does, I think it's going to hold Ethereum back in a big way. I think in 2025, Ethereum may have a really lackluster year compared to the other alts out there if the lawsuit happens. There's no doubt about it. Just look at XRP's performance in the last 3 years. It's basically done nothing. It still hasn't surpassed its 2018 high when most have in 2021. So I think that may set Ethereum back. All the L2s that are supporting Ethereum, they're probably going to be held back. But I think others that are competing against Ethereum, for example, Solana or Cardano or Avalanche, they will be big winners. They will probably benefit greatly if that happens.
Right now, Cardano and Polkadot, and I'm not sure about Avalanche, they're still 85% down from all-time highs back in 2021. Is this a buying opportunity, or is it about new altcoins this cycle, or what's your take?
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of Polkadot, but they're still up there. They're like in the top 15. Same thing with Cardano, still the top 10. Certainly a lot of money have gone into newer coins like the L2s, for example. And now we have L3s, and there's other newcomers in the space. So it does seem like a lot of the money has flown into others. But keep in mind, in a bull market, and this, especially at tail end of the bull market, everything starts skyrocketing. In 2021, we saw the same thing. In 2017, we saw the same thing. We see a lot of alts that were dead, absolutely, completely dead, do a 10x within a month. And we have seen that time and time again. So I think these big L1s, I don't think they'll go anywhere. They probably, if you compare their performance versus their peers, they may lag, which kind of sucks. But I think they will, especially the big ones, will still hit their previous high and maybe even surpass it. But we'll see. But I think like Polkadot and Cardano, for example, they will definitely hit their previous high, even though they're still so far away.
Ooh, Fully Electric just said, if that happens, every DApp on Ethereum will move over to ETC overnight. ETC will moon even more than expected if ETH gets hit. Dude, that'd be crazy. You imagine? Oh my God, that'd be great. And that is very interesting, actually. I didn't even think of it like that.
Roaring Kitty has returned, not seen since 2021.
Gosh.
He led the meme stock revolution back in 2020, 2021. What does his return mean for crypto?
Unfortunately, not a whole lot.
Nothing.
And it was very short-lived. I mean, he started posting. He didn't even say he was going to start trading again. He just started posting memes. And it caused this big short squeeze to happen in Wall Street, but it only lasted 2 days. Very different. It was not like before, where it lasted, I don't know how many months, and caused a whole bunch of hedge funds to get in trouble. This time around, we had a short squeeze for sure. And of course, people in crypto started FOMOing into the meme coins, GME and AMC and so forth. But once the stock started selling off, so did a meme coin. So unfortunately, Roaring Kitty, I mean, I looked at his count today even. It's just nothing but memes. He's not really saying anything. He's not really leading anything this way. In this time, he's just posting memes, and people are interpreting how they interpret. But unfortunately, not so much in crypto. I'd love to see him in crypto. If he started, he's probably one of the most followed men on X. If he started talking about leading some kind of revolution or moving to crypto because he's fed up with the banks or hedge funds or whatever, he could be one of the most prominent figures in crypto. But until then, I think very little.
Do you really think someone would want to put their neck out like that? I doubt it.
So this is just the start, and maybe he brings retail back. Like, retail really followed him the first time. If he does something this time and he has sound reasoning, it could be that turning point. Or what do you think could bring retail back to crypto?
We just need to see more money flow in. That's the problem right now. I mean, Bitcoin, I hate to say it, is led by the institutions this time. Okay. The reason why we're moving faster than previous cycles, the reason why our dips have been so small compared to previous cycles, the maturity that a lot of people talk about is kind of here and led by the institutions. Unfortunately, it should be led by the people, retail, but it's led by institutions. So I have this weird theory. I don't know if it's weird, but previous cycles, we saw retail lead Bitcoin. And then when Bitcoin tops out, guess what happens? The money flows into alts, and that's when we have true altcoin season. This time around, retail isn't leading Bitcoin. So I feel like retail, they're kind of stuck right now in a weird spot. So I think that's the reason why memes have done so well, because some of the retail players came in and like, I don't know if I want to put money into Ethereum or Solana or Cardano. You know what? I want to put my money into memes. And that's why I think this cycle, we've seen so many memes blow up to over $1 billion, and many of them hundreds of millions. And we haven't seen this kind of meme season ever before. In 2021, we saw maybe a little bit with Doge and Sheeb and maybe a little Floki, but that was at the very end of the cycle, and certainly not at the beginning. And we're seeing that now already so early. So I think, my take is I think retail is leading a meme revolution, and it could get to a point where memes become so big, then the retail players sell out of the memes and buy the other alts. So I think this cycle could be a little bit different in terms of how retail leads, I guess. So that's kind of my take.
I like SHIB. I just want to find the next SHIB. I like GameStop GME. I want to find the next GME. You're a meme coin connoisseur. At least you keep
about that.
You keep tabs on him. I know you keep tabs on him.
Yes.
What do you think the next SHIB of this cycle could be?
You know what? Probably if I had to pick one right now, it would probably be Pepe. And it's weird because Pepe is on ETH. It's not on Solana. It's not on Base. The two most popular chains for memes is Solana and Base. And Pepe is on neither. And the other thing is Pepe is not on Coinbase yet either. So that's the thing too. So Pepe is really surprising me because they led, obviously, they were one of the ones that hit $1 billion back in 2023 and in kind of a bad environment too. So that was quite amazing. But then they went through some FUD because some of the founders left and supposedly took some Pepe with them. And there was some FUD around, their security and multi-sig keys and how that was changed and so forth. And then we had something new like Bonk. And then after that, we had something new like Whiff. And we had others come out since then that have blown it up, Book a Meme and I don't know, Brett and others. But Pepe somehow got the momentum back, and they are the third largest meme. So if I had to pick one that mimics SHIB's movement in 2021, it probably is Pepe. Now, the other one that's very hot as well is Whiff. So Whiff, I think, will be a powerhouse this cycle too. And Bonk too. Bonk is going to be a powerhouse. I mean, these are like the new giants, the what do you call it? The staple, like the blue chips of the new memes. But there are so.
I just noticed he has the Misfit Mining colors in his background. That's funny. What do you guys think Whiff's gonna actually do something else? Do you think it's gonna continue to run? That's crazy.
So many other smaller ones that are popping out every single day. I'll give you an example of something fun. There's one called Costco Hot Dog. I saw that when it was under $1 million.
Costco hot dog is a meme.
Like, who doesn't like a Costco hot
That's
dog?
not true.
Everyone that
Is that
saw
true?
it just had a laugh, like a grin, like you did. And they blew up to over 100 million. And now I think they're around 50 million, but still no marketing at all. Just a fun meme.
Oh my God.
And people love it. And that's the power of meme coins.
I love that. It's simple yet effective.
Yeah.
George, a couple more questions, then I'll let you go. The stock market is doing great, yet the economy, some would say for average people, small businesses, is not doing good. Inflation is higher, portions for food are smaller. Eventually, there will be a crash. Are you in the camp?
Look at this real quick. Costco hot dog. Oh, too far. There's two of them, actually. I don't know what's going on with this one. It's like, this one took a nice dump. Well, let's see, right? Oh, it's a riot. This one's up 11.49%. Let's see. What's the max on this one? This one's been floating sideways. I don't know why there's two of them. Weird. Anyways.
Camp that after this upcoming American presidential election, a crash will happen?
That's a very tough one to answer. I think based on history, the answer should be yes, but here's the reason why it probably won't happen. Because after COVID, our government in the US has figured out that, hey, there's no consequence to just print money and keep printing and printing and printing. I don't know if you know this, there's no debt ceiling right now until sometime in 2025. And I don't know if it's the beginning or the end of 2025, because we kept hitting our debt ceiling so fast. Congress just said, you know what, let's just remove the ceiling for now, because we may need to print more. And I think that's what's going to happen. A lot of small businesses are struggling. A lot of just people in general are struggling. They're not buying as much. We see in the economic data, inflation is still high, even though Powell and everyone else is saying, inflation is under control and we're going down. I mean, you could just see it. Like, you go out to eat at a restaurant, it's not cheaper than a year ago. Gas is now starting to come up. I filled up the other day, it's $120. I mean, services still expensive. So I think what's going to end up happening is, yes, this year will be propped up because of the presidential elections. But afterwards, if the economy starts really struggling, the money printer is going to start up and we may see more stimulus come our way, right? I think that's what may happen.
George, final question. AI, obviously a hot trend in crypto. Upcoming things to look forward to that have nothing to do with crypto, but altcoins pumped when Sora news came out earlier this year. There's ChatGPT next iteration coming up. NVIDIA earnings happening later this month, very soon. This is just for fun. If I gave you $1,000, you could only invest in AI altcoins. How would you allocate that?
With $1,000 right now, I would probably split it 3 ways. Okay, I would, and these are 3 projects I think.
This is definitely a prepped question because there's no way he just pulled 3 out of the top of his head like that.
Fairly safe, yet very ingrained into AI. First one would be Fetch AI, and they're going through some big merger with Singularity and Ocean, but I don't know the details. A lot of people don't know. But regardless, Fetch AI is deeply involved with the AI space. They are L1 using autonomous agents, but after this merger with Singularity and Ocean, they become a powerhouse. But they always tend to move with AI. Whenever we hear good news about AI, they go up. So I put 33% of Fetch AI. I put 33% into Render.
Render's another good one.
They have established themselves. They have moved to Solana, and they're all about sharing GPU processing power to generate and compute models and data and whatever computations that is required. And they have this loose relationship with Apple. Apple hasn't come out and said, "Hey, we're using Render," but
that's a big catalyst. If Render comes out and works with Apple, Apple's like the leading tech giant. Like, come on, it's gonna explode.
Relationship there with the software that the parent company created for Apple that also is the parent company of Render. So there's that relationship. But anyways, they're definitely involved. So 33% in Render, and lastly 33% probably in an L1 called Near. They have been blowing up within the last, I would say the last year, because of their bigger focus into AI. And they're doing something called Task, which allows basically groups data modeling, kind of like data marketplace for AI and AI data and projects and so forth. They're kind of like a mini Solana, very well backed, heavy funding, and they're growing by leaps and bounds right now. So I do anticipate with NVIDIA earnings that's coming up in a few days, I think NVIDIA is going to have a spectacular quarter. As always, they are unstoppable at this point. And with that, AI projects will bloom. And I think these 3 will do very well.
Awesome. All right. Shout out to Aaron and Austin over at Altcoin Daily and George for being the guest over there. Get into the recap segment of things. Let's see. What are we looking like over here? Bitcoin still $71,000. Ethereum almost $3,800. Damn. Ethereum's only like a couple $100 away from its all-time high. This is crazy. ETC is having a huge pump today as well, along with Ethereum up 16.58% on the day, $32. Caspa is killing it, 13 cents. Man, everything is in the green. Just be careful depending on what happens on Thursday. If you think we need to take profits, you guys should take profits. Don't just continue to hold and hope everything goes to the moon. I don't know what's going to happen on Thursday. Nobody knows. If it gets approved, then things will probably stay up. If it gets denied, you're probably going to see a, like we're seeing now, buy the rumor and a sell the news event. So I guess, yeah, only time will tell. Anyways, guys, listen, we're going to go raid Miss Randy Hipper right now. She is going to be live literally in like 2 seconds. So hopefully you guys have a safe, happy Tuesday, and I will catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Daily Grind. Have a good one. And peace out.
Eat shit, Gary. You are a loser. You always lose.
Perfect.